part of me. Yes, I've got you under my skin. I've tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair ain't never gonna go too well.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading and all that stuff. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. Appreciate it. I don't know why. It's a weird thing. Anyway, this week we're back with fan favorite Ken Mond with some COVID updates, some words of wisdom. Ken's just a good dude. I realize I used to hang out with him every day. And, we had a good time. We always had good talks. And so it's good to talk to him again. We always talk about interesting stuff, about being dads and how weird it is. And he's got a whole different perspective. And usually a really cool one and a really good one. And so enjoy. I really did. Have fun with Ken Mond.
I don't know what the actual reason is, but I would surmise because there's a part of your brain that's the whole time balancing them, and that sort of centers them a little bit.
Like doing a task or a meditation would get you on a hum.
In the background, yeah. So like, I find that if I have like just something that ever so slightly distracting going on in the background, it is sometimes actually helpful.
Interesting.
Which makes no sense to like regular people. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Why would a distraction help you focus? Well...
It's like white noise. For you, right. It's like physical white noise.
Right. You're like, yeah, this is hard to explain, but it does.
Is it have to be like chaos, or like can it just be like a crooked picture?
That's funny. That's funny. You're like, so does it need to be like total chaos, or is like a little chaos okay? Very funny. Ha ha, funny man. No, I have Jesus Christ. So I am sort of in the process of making it less crazy, I guess. Like it, because it doesn't have to be like fucking insane to work. Just,
Yeah, just a little crazy.
Just a little. You don't need to, like, it has reached a point where I am perfectly willing to admit that it's too much. Where you go, no, it's too much. this is, we've clearly reached too much, damn it.
Yeah, that's my garage makes me insane. Like I need it to be better, but I can't do it.
Yeah, you don't want to see my garage. It wouldn't work out for you too well. So I went through all this trouble. I don't know why. I don't think. So these new computers don't even have like Ethernet ports.
Nope.
And so I have a dongle for that, but it's upstairs, and I'm fearful that like you might slit your wrist or something if I leave you alone again.
Nah, man, it's fine. Like this is fine. This is fine. This is fine.
Like when somebody says the primary way that people consume podcasts is YouTube, but I'm never going to use this video. Uh-huh. It's like, wait a minute, because those two things don't go together.
It depends what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing this for that.
I see.
Know? If I have the video, I mean Zoom makes the video.
Right.
But like I'm not like driving it that way. Like I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, man. I'm just doing it. It's weird.
You,
like
you think you don't know what you're doing. I know I don't know what I'm doing. Because Hannah said, so Daddy, what are you doing tonight between 10 and 11:30? And I said, what? What are you doing tonight between 10 and and 11:30, and she thought it was like the most hilarious thing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Do you have a meeting with someone named Matt? And I go, Matt, what's she talking? And I said, oh shit, I think that podcast is next. And so I look and I go, yeah, I guess I do. And she's like, okay. That was it. That was the whole interrogation. Like there was no point to it. Just,
So like
will you be meeting with someone named Matt tonight?
A house calendar or something?
Actually, I will. That's crazy. How'd you know? And she wouldn't really tell me, so I still don't know exactly which calendar she accessed or how she knew, or who knows?
Yeah,
she's who knows? But
so,
I tend to be the guy who everything's available to everybody. So, like when I had the iPad, it was never locked. When it was locked, I put like Tiffany's thumbprint in it so she could open it. Like it's just like whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like if there's anything in mine that you can't look at, like I don't know what's wrong because there's nothing there that you're not allowed to see.
Shared resources.
I don't like people snooping through my stuff, but if you need to go and get something, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
It's like I'm that Find My Phone thing. Like I'm on that thing with Tiffany, and it's funny because like I rarely if ever use it. She told me, she's like, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's really funny. Like,
yeah.
Like, wait, so you track me all the time? She's like, well, not all the time, but like, yeah, sure. And I was just like, oh, okay. I'm like, I track you if you like driving from your parents' house back home, and I want to know like what time I think you're gonna get home. But outside of that sort of thing, not so much.
Yeah.
She's like, if I go fishing or something, she's like, I know if I call you and you're actually out fishing, you are not going to answer the phone. So if I look at the tracker, I can see that you're still fishing, and then I don't care. It's like, well, oh, he's still fishing.
Yeah.
It's like literally like my phone in the middle of the river.
Yeah.
On the back. It's like, oh, okay.
She's like, the plan is coming together.
What's that?
The plan is coming together.
Right. All right, so I'm going to need you to take this out to the middle of the river and leave it there.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've used it like a few times like that, like just to verify. And then one time we used it to actually find her phone.
Oh, wow.
So it's very convenient. But yeah, I could see it in the wrong hands being very stalkery,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't care if she uses it to find me, but I do care if she sort of feels like she has to do something weird like that. You know what I mean? Like if it's weird, it's weird. If it's not weird, it's not. That's the like I'm like, if it's practical and it works, knock yourself out. If you're doing it because you think there's some kind of bigger issue, then perhaps we need to talk.
Yeah,
because it's just not what I do. So where would you be picking the vibes up from? Type of thing.
Listen, how is it that you went to Florida?
Oh, so okay,
I can't believe you went to Florida.
Oh, well,
that's a change in COVID land in my world.
The explanation. So we are fairly active in Georgia. We're just not active with other people, right? Like, so we do stuff as a family, but it's real simple. You sort of like you don't interact with people who don't live in your house, and if you do that, you won't get sick. Like, it's really straightforward. And so, the primary. I've been the primary person to sort of like be in public or be in public spaces, and for the most part, Tiffany isn't. And the kids, they go to a daycare, so they're in a pod at a daycare where the entire building has like a UV light, HEPA filter type filtration on the HVAC. I don't know if it's quite HEPA, but it's definitely UV light. And they haven't had like a single case of community spread the entire time we've been in the pandemic. So, and then I put 2 more filters like in the actual room. So 2 sort of physical filters that do, they do 375 square feet each. Mm-hmm. And that room's not 375 square feet.
Like those molecule things?
In it. What's that now?
Those air cleaner things? The molecules and stuff, yeah.
So I put 2 of them in there, and those are HEPA, UV light, C, ion, and charcoal. So the ion takes care of it, and the UV light takes care of it. The HEPA, whatever, maybe. But those other 2 definitely take care of it. So even though the kids, go to school, it's like they're basically in a clean room, like all day long, and they wear masks. But even if their masks are off, like the air in that room is probably scrubbed every 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So whatever the case may be, I think I've always sort of had this attitude, like, well, if we just continue doing what we've always done, we'll be fine, right? Mm-hmm. And so what happened is when the vaccines hit, we know a lot of people, and basically we got the call like, hey, do you want to get vaccinated because there's overflow?
Yeah, they're throwing it out, dude. I'm hearing they're throwing it out.
What's that now?
I'm hearing it's being thrown out in some cases. Like,
it is. And it is large scale. So, what I tell people is if you really want to get vaccinated, like call a pharmacy at the end of the day, like call Walgreens, call CVS, like find a place that is administering the vaccine. And at the end of the day, either call or just show up like, hey, do you have any vaccine that you're going to dispose of today? Because, it has to be, once they open a lot up, the whole lot has to be used within a certain amount of time or some crap. They've come to realize that I think their refrigerator's stable for a lot longer than they previously thought.
But that's not what's approved.
But even then, it's so basically we ended up doing that overflow thing. So me and Tiff got vaccinated. We got our first one. We got our second one. And
that's awesome.
So that's why we ended up going to Florida, because we're like, okay, we're vaccinated now.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like we're vaccinated. The kids here, they get a winter break for a week. And so it was like, well, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And so how we specifically ended up in Florida was I had to be back the Friday that we got back from Florida for work. That was when like a major project was starting for me. And so I was like, we can't leave the country because if by some unforeseen circumstance, Biden closes the borders or there's some kind of an emergency or one of us contracts the virus while we're there, like, or even haven't been vaccinated. But what if you get a positive? Like you're not sick, but they might not let you back in. So it was like, well, where can we go that's going to be warm and have beaches and, all of the stuff we want.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, if we stay domestic, we're still technically in the United States. And if we go someplace like, I don't know, Florida, they don't have any rules. So
yeah. That's true.
We're not going to be tested. We're not going to be stopped. Nothing's going to happen. So
yeah, that's true.
Like, so we were like, all right, so.
Did you drive or fly?
No, we flew, but we were like, the kids can obviously, they wear masks all day long.
Yeah.
And I have these, basically they're like KN95 equivalent type masks.
Yeah.
And so that's what the kids wear. And then I'm wearing the same. Well, Tiffany and the kids are all wearing the same thing. I got a big ass head, so I'm wearing something different, but similar, hepatitis filter in it. And so, again, like being vaccinated, I wasn't really that concerned about me in the first place. And even with these crazy new variants, the kids don't, they don't get sick as quick, and even if they do get sick, their outcomes tend to be way better. So it's one of those things like we were like, okay,
that's great.
I think we can start trying to reintegrate into.
I knew something happened. I knew something had to happen.
Yeah, that's what happened, man.
So what did you get? Did you get Pfizer or Moderna?
Pfizer.
Yeah.
So it's just really funny though, because so the way I grew up, we had more than fulfilled my expectation for vacations, even with coronavirus. Mm-hmm. And I say that to say this: we got back home from the Bahamas February 2020. We went to the Keys February 2021. That's more vacation than I would have in a 12-month period and my entire childhood growing up. So but for Tiffany, you know, having grown up, I guess more middle class, and then by the time she graduated college, they were like upper middle class, and then you know she obviously went to grad school. She had her own money, and so she travels a lot. So for her, it was a combination of being sort of like locked in the house and not being able to travel. It was like just driving her crazy. And so it's funny because, you know, right after we got vaccinated, I was like, okay, you should start traveling. And she's kind of like, what do you mean? I'm like, you should start traveling. I'm like, so like when she turned 40, I guess, like 2 years ago. And I was like, you and your girlfriend should go to Vegas and like get a suite and just party and have a good time and see Janet Jackson. That's your favorite. And she's like, I don't know, but you know, all this black and forth. And I'm like, I'm literally like, the kind of money you make and how hard you work, just take like 15 grand and just blow it on a trip with your girlfriends and just have a great time. Yeah. And she's looking at me like you must be crazy, right? And I'm like, you only turn 40 once, and you're 40, like you're gonna make more money, right? So I'm not saying that you need to spend 15 grand on a trip, every year, just this one time. I'm always, I guess, that guy more like enjoy some of the fruits of your labor, right? Yeah. And she's more of the, you know, just fiscally conservative.
Well, it seems absurd.
It's a good balance for us.
It seems absurd if you don't think of it in the long term. Like,
so I had a friend on Facebook who was like, she needs a really good blender, but she doesn't want to spend $300. And I was like, well, you don't want a really good blender then. You want an okay blender. She was just like,
no shit. Like, I bought one of those Blendtex Johns like I don't know, 7 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's awesome.
We bought a Vitamix probably
those things
10
last
years
forever,
ago.
dude.
And I think I've replaced like the masher once because she did something wrong and broke it. It didn't break on its own. She stuck it into the blade and it broke. And so it's really funny to me to sort of be like, so if you spend $500 on a blender over the course of a decade, would you spend $50 a year on the blender? Versus if you buy like a $200 blender, but you have to replace it every 2 to 3 years. Like, and you never get the level of quality out of it.
Nah, mine has a counter on it, so I know it's like down to the drink. It's like 12 cents
it's
per
crazy.
Smoothie.
You
like,
just kind of, I literally, woodworkers, we have this sort of saying that the cheapest tool is the tool that you only have to buy once.
Yeah.
That's it. And so I think we've all gotten to the age where we should be buying like heirloom type stuff and keeping it. I mean, if it's a one-time use, I get it. But if you're going to use it a lot, it's like I have like a Gaggia espresso maker, and that was probably like $400 or $500 new, and I probably got it for like $250, used from somebody on Craigslist. And I have more because I make myself a cappuccino every single morning, and I have more than paid off that machine.
Oh, easy.
And way I used to drink like 2 or 3 coffees a day, but that won't work for me anymore because I'm old and hypertensive and such. But man. And so at any rate, I was just like, take the trip, spend the money, have a good time. 2021 was like I decided in 2020 to start like an investment fund, and I promise you, I literally made 100% of what I put into it over a 12-month period, just like that.
Yeah. And
suffice it to say, her taking a trip and spending 15 grand would not spend all of the profits. so I was just like, just have a good time. Like I made like a regular person's salary just clicking buttons. Like, you know what I mean? Just like a regular. I made more clicking buttons in 2020 than I made when I was 26, 27.
It's a game, man. And you figured out a game, and you're just starting to get into that game, and there's professional players of that game, and you're like, oh. It's a money game. Cool.
Yeah, and it was real easy for like so. My little tip, I guess, for all your listeners, like, and it's not even
all your listeners.
Huh?
All your listeners.
But it wasn't complicated. It was like, okay, so, and a friend of mine told me, so it wasn't like it was my thing. Like, whenever something really crazy and tragic happens to a company, but it has nothing to do with the company, it really has nothing to do with the company's product or anything like that. As long as you think that company is sort of like strong enough to weather the storm, buy their stock when it hits rock bottom, it will come back. And so you look at like there was it Deepwater Horizons or whatever. You look at that was BP. You look at Exxon Valdez. You look at I don't know, Volkswagen with the that whole diesel thing. That whole scandal. Yeah. Like when it like goes into the toilet, buy it and just wait.
Yeah.
Provided you know it's a company that's going to come back. Now, if you had done that with like an Enron, you'd just be screwed. But you know, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you just so.
It's the miracle of compounding interest. I mean, watch that Warren Buffett special, dude.
That's it, man.
It's so crazy. Just wait, get a decent deal and wait.
With the pandemic, it was initially I think it was Marriott. So if you would have bought Marriott when it hit rock bottom, you would have probably tripled your money. I think the first like 6 to 8 months, right? Wow. And then so I didn't go with Marriott because Marriott wasn't like, I'm not a business traveler, so I didn't think, business travel is gonna come back first. So I saw Peloton making moves. So when I bought into Peloton was at like 29 or something. Peloton went all the way up to like 160. And it's currently at like 112. Now, I didn't keep it. I sort of like bought it, sold it, because, I'm trying to get into the game and figure it out and everything. So I'm buying and selling and having fun. And so I could have more than doubled my money, but I was happy, like, to be learning and double your money, I'm good, right? But at any rate, man, if any company, and so for me, it was Royal Caribbean. I was like, that is the cruise line that had the highest number, so like on their stock. I think their stock was trade, like 130 or 140 or something like that. And it dropped all the way to like 19. And so I'm like, as long as they survive, and they will because they're the leading sort of like cruise line, it's going to come back. And so right now, Royal Caribbean is like in the 90s. It had gotten all the way down literally to like 19.
Wow.
So it's like the tragedy for us was the pandemic. And then you look at companies affected by the pandemic, and I was like, airlines are too wishy-washy, like I'm not messing with that. But hotel would have worked, and Marriott would have been the one to go with. Cruise lines would have worked. Royal Caribbean would have been the one to go with. Even like I think like rental cars might have worked. Zoom actually was ridiculous, and because I didn't have the mind of an investor, I didn't think like when Zoom started picking up, not even looking at the ticker, just everything became Zoom, right? And if I would have known that Zoom was a publicly traded company, I definitely would have bought it.
Yeah, it's a crazy game, dude. It's a crazy game.
So at any rate, that's how we ended up.
Congratulations, that's cool. No, that makes sense. I feel better now because I was like, I couldn't believe. Yeah, that's right. I did see that you were on an airplane because I was like, I can't believe you got on an airplane. Like, but I didn't think of like being able to get a vaccine quick enough. But that's cool. That's cool.
Well, I mean, I'm also in Georgia, and so like Georgia's not following the CDC rules, like making up their own stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was another sort of like contributing factor where it was just like you're in Georgia, like, you know what I mean? And the crazy thing is the number of people who using a variety of strategies are basically line jumpers. And so technically you can look at us like we were line jumpers, but I'm like, nah.
I think we got to let that go, man. They're throwing it away. So,
well, and then the other part is, Tiffany.
And there's people that refuse it. There's people that aren't getting it.
Tiffany went and took continuing education classes so that she could be, I don't want to say certified because it's not really a certification, but trained to administer a vaccine so that she could volunteer to then go and vaccinate, other people. So
That's cool.
I kind of had to give her props. Like, you don't really have to do that. And she's like, well, you know, if I'm qualified and I have the education and and the license to be able to do it, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I think she almost looks at it like that's penance or something. I don't know, but that's her,
dope,
her community service,
that's
I
nice.
suppose. So.
That's cool. Yeah, I think this is going to be, this is going to be major. It's nice to have adults making decisions. It seems like, anyway, adults are making decisions that are fairly sensible. I don't understand. I don't understand the rationale for. Well, I do understand the rationale for how someone could think small enough to not approve the minimum wage thing. Like, I get it, jobs will be lost, but still, it's like, yeah, but a lot of people won't be in poverty anymore, so it's like probably a good thing. Like, I don't get that one. That one's like, there's still crazy non-humanistic thinking people in Congress by the hundreds, and in the country
really
by the millions.
When you don't index the minimum wage against anything.
Yeah,
and I think that's really. So I think that when you say, well, we should move it to this arbitrary number, and you think, well, maybe that number's not so arbitrary. Like, maybe you need to look at, well, index it against average real estate prices and the various.
It might need to be $25 an hour. It might need to be
$40
an hour.
If you index it against,
but it's like else, $7. We know that's wrong.
Index it against the value of money. It's not even worth what it was worth when it was started, just because the value of money decreases due to inflation. So it's like,
but like, think of it. If you think of it super simple, like, okay, what is it, like $7 and change now?
Right.
We can all agree at least doubling it is at least the least we could do before we think about it for 4 seconds. Yeah. That seems to be like a no-brainer. You're right. Like, it should actually be a rational number that's figured out by an AI that does numbers on shit like that.
Well,
and could be like,
economist or actuary, whatever. Like, anything. You just kind of go, the $7 isn't even worth what it was worth back when they first did it. Like, how much is a carton of eggs now? How much was a carton of eggs then? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, dude, it's bananas. Yeah. So anyway, I don't understand that, but for the most part,
I would say
I feel more rational.
It's horrible is the number of people who have been forced down into that job segment due to losses in other job segments. And so there was a time where the majority, I guess, of people who worked and made minimum wage, they weren't 40. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. They were teenagers.
In their young 20s. And like, now you have like heads of household who like make just barely over minimum wage. And so, I would look at it like, well, maybe if you like the entry level manager of like a gas station or something, like, you only marginally make more than your minimum wage employees make. But, you're like a head of household, and your employees might also be heads of household. And so you kind of look at it like, well, if you push it up, maybe it'll push up some of those other jobs as well, because the people who work in those segments now didn't use, like, when you go to McDonald's, you see grown ass people in there. And you just kind of like, it's not just a bunch of teenagers running around. Now, it depends on what market you're in, but I see grown people working in 100%. Minimum wage roles all the time.
Yeah, but they're like, around here, there's no kids working at jobs. It's older folks.
It's all adults. That's what I'm saying. And you kind of go.
But here's the crazy thing, right? Like, I don't know how to solve this. I'm not an economist. I don't have any fucking idea. But almost everywhere that you need a service, like any store, any restaurant, name anything, the service is kind of shitty because they don't have enough people.
Right.
Which means there are jobs available.
Well, no, they're trying to squeeze out that bottom line, man. So
yeah, but like, if you go to like Japan, for example, where there's no like unemployment, everybody has jobs. There's a lot of people doing shit you really don't need that badly. Like, there'll be 7 people mopping and stuff.
Right.
But like, at least everybody's at a level where they can eat and live.
Right.
So like, you might have a couple extra people mopping shit and like, maybe we do, but I don't know how to figure that out. I don't know.
Well, everybody's trying to squeeze out that last dime. So when you go into a business during a time that business could reasonably predict they're going to be super busy, why are they understaffed? Because you have to pay for staff and they want the money.
Yeah.
And they're like, so the money I save on the staff, I obviously save, and I'm not going to lose that many customers or like not lose that many sales based on the fact that service is marginally slower. And so that's why you're standing in line. Because they could open those other registers, but then they have to pay those people.
They have so many registers, always.
And it's nobody there because...
like even at Christmas time, they're all not full.
Listen, man, but part of the...
Why do they even build those fuckers? That's such a good point.
Part of the calculus is the managers are incentivized to maximize the profit of the store, but minimize the expenses. And a lot of times... let's just say the company might, like, I don't know, estimate what payroll should be for a year, a fiscal year. And if you're a manager and you can come in beneath that payroll while also hitting your profit target, you get a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? For reducing
it's
expenses.
just the wrong incentives across
the board.
They're
incentivized to not have people working.
Yeah, it's the wrong incentives.
So, you just kind of, well, man, listen. I can anecdotally tell you all kinds of things, but I also am not an economist, et cetera. And I got to tell you, like, I am barely even engaged with the current administration. Like, I know that they are going to do more of what I want done than the previous one did, but the same way other people have like COVID fatigue, I just have like politics fatigue. Like, I know that the Democrats will find a way to yank like defeat from the jaws of victory. Like, I know that they will find a, like, by the midterms we're gonna be like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah,
like everybody's gonna forget about the shit show that was and the 500,000 people dead, and it's literally gonna be like Biden wore a blue suit. It's gonna be like something fucking ridiculous. Yeah. And people are going to be going crazy. You're going to be sitting there like, but do you remember what the last dude? Like, do you remember like Obama? They went crazy because he wore like a brown suit. And it's like, but do you remember that like the guy before him can't leave the country because he's a war criminal? Like he literally has not left the country since he left the presidency. Like, it's like, does anybody even like remember that part? Like, this motherfucker has not left the country. Like, he ain't been nowhere. I just imagine like the Secret Service and like Interpol and like a firefight because we're not surrendering the president. Like, he hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, I haven't given him any thought.
It's
a relief.
The way our politics work, we protect the institution of the presidency, and to a lesser extent, we protect other institutions. And that is the reason why, under no circumstances, do I believe that Trump will be going to jail. And I don't care how many investigations they have. I don't see it happening. And I also think that the insurrection investigations will go nowhere because of the obvious, to me anyway, layers of collusion that involve, institutions larger than just Trump. Like, it's not just one person. It's not just, you got, all kinds of members of Congress in both houses. I think that you will see people who were egregious, you know what I'm saying? Like individual protesters who will be made examples of. I think that you might even see some administrators, like, I don't know, if you were a sergeant in the Capitol Police or some shit, something like that, maybe, you know what I mean? All the way up to the top of the Capitol Police, or even the sergeant at arms, for either house. But I think that when you have so much money, I think that you end up where people sort of look at each other like, do you really want to investigate this? Because your name might come up. And they're like, yeah, my name might come up too. And they just end up not doing it. So, you say what you want to say, man, but
it's dark.
I don't see it happening. I just don't. Like, you call me a cynic, but like, I've been around long enough, man. Like, this, It's not the kind of thing that happens. Like, if it was a city council, sure. But it's the Senate and the Congress on a federal level. Like, that's just not. Your ears getting hot.
No, yeah, dude. I don't know though, because I mean, you're probably right. I don't want you to be right, but you're probably right. Like the idea that the level of transparency that we're now capable of,
right?
And the amount of coverage still, even after Trump's gone, of the goings on in Congress, it can't continue like it has. It just can't. I don't know. I've never in my lifetime seen so many. Every time there's some kind of vote on something, here's the senators that didn't vote. Here's the senators that did vote. Here's everybody. Like, at least that's a little bit of progress. A little bit. Like, maybe it's a decade.
I think that's progress in terms of holding people accountable for their politics. Yeah. But I think that given how divided the country is, who are you holding them accountable to? Like, they're actually voting, in many cases, if not most, the preference of their constituents. Like, they're not going to, not hurting by not voting, man. Like, this is, when you look at the deep divide in this country, and it is fueled in some ways by race, obviously, you're not getting past that. Like, that when you take people and you play with them and you manipulate them and you sprinkle some race on top, you get people who are like willing to damn near support anything. Like they're going to be calling Biden a socialist while spending that stimulus money.
Yeah.
They will literally, like, they're going to be spending the money talking about how he's a socialist.
Yeah, it's pretty broken.
While not having voted for it, and while not having any of their representatives voted for it. Like, and when you look at like the sort of like the Trump stimulus package, I guess, like, I think almost all of the Democrats voted for it. You look at Biden's stimulus package, no one's voted for it. And it's like, how can you possibly have this many Americans like hurting, suffering, unemployed? Like, I know that my experience through COVID was a pretty unique experience. A very privileged experience, and not what other people are experiencing. Like, I had like zero financial insecurity. Like, when I say zero, I mean zero. If anything, we were living better because we had less expenses because there was no place for us to go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like in Whole Foods buying filet mignon. In Whole Foods. Like, literally, I'm like, the Whole Foods fillets taste better than the Kroger fillets. I don't even eat fillets and shit. I don't fucking eat steak, right? This is just for Tiffany. And so I would buy it and be like, I don't know if I like this Publix filet. I'll get the fillets from Whole Foods from now on. It was so crazy that I had Whole Foods, Kroger, and Publix were the three places that I went. But then within that, I had certain Krogers and certain Publixes that I went to because I knew what the restock patterns were like and what each store had that we liked that the other store didn't.
Yeah.
Like, when I would go shopping, it'd be like, I had different lists for different stores because I know they're not going to have the bouillon cues we like, but they will. It just, this is in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And so, and because I know who I am and how I am, I left all my cash home. Because I was like, if I see somebody and they seem sincere and they're struggling, I will just give them all the money in my pocket. Like, I've done that several times. And I was like, I can't do that for the whole year. So I just stopped carrying cash, entirely for the whole fucking year.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing that this because I'm definitely that guy that I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to pray with you, but here, you can have the money.
Yeah.
Like, I've had people be like, can we just pray together? No, man. Just take the money and good luck.
Hey, bud. What's up?
Daddy?
Yeah?
I need to think of a B name that's like a girl name that begins with the letter B.
Ken, what's a girl's name that begins with the letter B?
Brittany, Becky.
Brittany, Becky. No, you don't like either of those?
You need more? Brianna?
Brianna? Beyonce?
What? That's a real name?
Billie?
No, that's a girl name.
Billie Eilish is a
Boy
girl.
name. See, that's a girl boy name. Like that's both. It's androgynous.
Barbara?
That's your grandmother's name. I know a girl named Brandy. She's a fine girl.
Brenda.
Listen, this is not enough to interrupt my conversation with my friend Ken here.
Bernadette.
How do you spell Barbara?
Now I'm going to have to edit. You see? You see what you've done?
No one to Bernadette.
Sorry. Just tell me how you spell Barbara.
Just do Barb. B-A-R-B.
Yeah, Barbara. That's definitely a...
B-A-R-B. Barb.
Barbara.
A-R-A at the end. Barb-a-ra.
Wait, here's the best part. I want you to hear this. This is hilarious to me, right? I could be like sitting on the couch watching television, and Tiffany could be like doing yoga, and the kids will walk right past me, walk right to Tiffany, and be like, "Mommy, I'm hungry."
I know. Yeah.
And she's like, "But you walk past your father."
Barbara. B-A-R-B.
Hilarious, dude.
B-A-R-B.
Okay.
Barb.
Ra.
A-ra. B-A-R-B.
B-A-R-B.
A-R-A. Barb.
A-R-A.
A-ra.
Okay.
Use that photographic memory. Get out of here.
Nice talking to you. He can't even hear me, can he?
No.
It's in your headphones. It's hilarious.
He's the best, dude. He's the best.
I'm telling you, man.
He draws these characters that are like an amalgamation of every cartoon he's ever watched. So like if he's watching like on a streak of watching Teen Titans, his stuff kind of looks like Teen Titans. If he's on a streak of watching Japanimation, it kind of starts to morph into Japan. Like it's amazing. He'll see a character in a show a month ago.
Right.
And he'll draw it exactly and not remember why he drew it or where it came from. He kind of thinks it's original. And I'm like, that was on the episode of Teen Titans. Like, and he's just like, what? Like, but like he draws it. His animation skills are fucking insane. It's so cool. He's like not original yet, but it's so good. And so I just keep going like, yeah, dude, just keep drawing. Like keep whatever. But he always needs me to name shit.
I can't remember the podcast or the hell. It's so I listen to like some YouTube channels where it's almost like documentary style type shit, like real esoteric, but you know, I listen to it. And one of the things the guy was saying is that what you just said, like we think that we're creating something original and we don't realize that we actually took it from someplace. But the way our brains work, like we don't connect back to what we took it from. Yeah. And so some plagiarism is like unintentional. And he basically was talking about it. It was really fascinating to listen to. And so for you to say it, I was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, you know, the guy on the YouTube thing told me.
Yeah. I mean, none of it, but yeah, it's not intentional and it's all in the craft. But like, I mean, I was thinking the other day, like about the pandemic, one of the things, especially for him, because he, you know, he learns different than other kids. He's amazing at some things and lots of things. He's great. But like this pandemic, because of homeschool and not going anywhere and everybody's working and it's a lot of downtime. Like think about like how little our parents had to deal with us. And we just had our kids for a whole year, all of us together. It's crazy. Never had to do that before. So like there was a lot of times I couldn't hang out with him. Mom couldn't hang out with him. His sister couldn't hang out with him. You're on your own, dude. Like you kind of like, and he's good at it. And he spent almost all that time drawing. Like no shit. Like his drawing in the course of this pandemic has just exponentially, like we buy reams of paper at Target, like just a ream of 500 sheets of paper, and he just goes to town, and like it's so awesome. And he's figured out what he likes to draw, and like his favorite, his color palette in his like what he can see color difference is just crazy. Like
I know what you mean, like this subtle gradation.
Oh my god, dude! He's like, no, it's not that color, Dad. It's this, and it's like a shade that I can barely see.
Because you see in like 3-bit, and he sees in like 32-bit or 64-bit.
Yeah. I can see he's right. I can see he's right, but I would have never guessed he was wrong. You know what I mean? Where he's just like so dialed in on. It's so cool. It's so cool. He's something. But
you like a baseline MP3 with all the pops and clicks and shit. He's like, no, Dad, that's no, that's not it. So I say that because like when MP3s came out, it was just like this, and you know how my brain works, right? I'd be like, I can't listen to this shit. It's all pops and clicks.
Yeah,
and then like, and people who can't hear it really don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-mm.
No idea. And I'm like, you can't hear all of that stuff? And they're like, no. And so when you say it about the colors, I'm like, yeah, I can see that. I absolutely can see that. And it's probably so subtle that, like, for him, it might as well be like red and green. And it's just vivid. 2 different shades of red right next to each other.
Yeah, it's vivid. It's cool. It's really cool. It's, you know, I my whole goal is like, because we talk about like him getting older and stuff, and it's just like, I was like, I don't know, like, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about some of this shit that we had to worry about. Like, my job is to figure out how to let you just keep being you.
Right.
Like, it's cool. Like, that's fine. Like, I don't know. It's funny because like I left my parents and I moved across the country. So like, you know, I get that I don't want them to be that far away. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when they leave, but I also want them to be like doing exactly what they want to be doing and happy about it. You know what I mean? And if that means I'm not there with them, then that is what it is. Like, it's going to be what it is. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I just want them to be happy and do whatever they want. And I don't care where they live. I don't care how they live. You know, if success means you like, I don't know, fucking helping people in the jungle with, you know, have fresh water or some shit, or if it means that you turn into fucking, I don't know, some billionaire, you know, internet star, whatever, like whatever success is for them, that's what I want for them. You know, I kind of feel like I'm old as shit anyway. You know what I mean? And so like I had Spencer when I was 40.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to enjoy them while they're here and support them. And, you know, and I've always been the kind of person, I think, where if you tell me what you want to achieve, then I'm going to push you to that.
Yeah.
And if you change your mind, then I'm going to push you to that. And no matter what you decide, but you have to be the person to decide what the thing is you want to achieve. Like, I can't pick that for you.
Yeah.
And I've always sort of been like that. And I think that, you know, that's part of the problem with, like, when people try and mentor you. Like, we have a mutual friend I used to say this to, like, you give me, like, perfect tennis advice, but, like, I don't fucking play tennis. Like,
yeah,
it is not transferable. Like, you have to figure out what someone is specifically trying to achieve before you can give them advice around how to achieve it. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I was never a very sort of traditional person in the way that I managed corporate America, but a lot of that had to do with, I was like, I'm Black and I have not finished my degree yet. So I'm not like eminently promotable. So I used to always kind of think like, well, why would you behave like you're promotable and put all that work and effort into it if you know you don't have the qualifications to be promoted? Like, just be who you are and you can look in the mirror and be comfortable with what you see and not feel like a sellout. And even if you don't move up, you won't fucking care because you didn't expect to move up in the first place because, well, you never finished your fucking education. Mm-hmm. And so people giving me advice on like what to do in corporate America is not very helpful if that's my outlook. Like if you're like, well, Ken, if you just shaved, it's like, I'm not fucking shaving. You just stop cussing. I'm not gonna stop cussing. Fuck that. Like whatever it was, you know what I mean? Like they're giving me advice. And it's really good advice, but you know, right up until I went back and got my degree, it was almost like it's a waste of fucking time. Like I work in an industry where that piece of paper is important. And once I got that degree, like it's just to the moon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's a body of work, there's a reputation and all that kind of stuff. and maybe it's not the best, example, but it's like, for instance, like right now, I don't want to be in management, right? I'm not interested in management because I'm like, I work for a more traditional company. And I'm like, what happens when the management structure shifts and the new manager says, well, I want everybody to live within a certain geographic proximity of the home office.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
But you see what I mean? Or you think about something like, well, is the extra 20 or 30 grand worth the headache of having to manage people? For me, no. I can make that in the market. Like I literally can make that in the stock market. I don't need that from work. So, I'm my competitive advantage is actually to stay home, work from home full time, and use all that extra time that I get as efficiently as I can to support Tiffany's career because she makes a lot more money. So
yeah,
it just kind of makes sense. Like I remember when we were dating, I was just like, for me to try and catch up with you is just stupid. Like I would much rather just push you forward as far forward as you want to go. And I just sort of incrementally, like, and it's I think it's like bananas to have reached, like, I grew up in the hood. And so to be able to say that, like, well, I make six figures is a big deal, right? And then to be able to say, and my wife makes more money than me. It's like, so I get paid really good money to support my wife's career.
Yeah. It's funny that anybody gave a shit. That's the crazy thing. It's funny that anybody gave a shit in the first place. Like, I think that sounds amazing. What you're talking about is like, you're available for like, yeah, it's, I don't know, man. It's really tough to.
I get to drop my kids off to school every day. And because Tiffany works in the field, as long as she's home, like our culture is we both drive the kids and drop them off. We both drive and pick the kids up and bring them home. And I promise you, people will say, if my husband, like we've literally had people say, if my husband was willing to go get the kids from school, I wouldn't be driving with him. I'd be like, okay, well, that's your household.
Yeah.
And so, everybody's household is different, but I got a friend and he likes to say, Apple successful, Google successful, they're very different cultures. And if you try to do it one what you did at the other, you'd be fired. But they're both very successful companies. And and that's the way you kind of have to look at households. Like, you're not going to have the same culture as other people, but I like the fact that I can go to just about every single school function, every school, pre-COVID, right? Every activity.
Yeah.
I can volunteer. I can do cleanup. Like, I have such an incredible work-life balance. And also because I'm supporting Tiffany, it gives her time to, like, she was on like the board of directors of the foundation for the elementary school. You know what I mean? So she got to, be involved in the way that she likes to be involved, like planning high-level stuff and fundraisers and all that crazy crap. And she's, her time got freed up because I was able to plug in some holes. You know what I mean? And so I just always kind of felt like you bring whatever your competitive advantage is to the relationship, to the household, to the family. You know what I'm saying? And it will change over time. So when we first met, I did all the cooking. I don't do all the cooking now. But when we first met, I'm talking about probably for like the first 6-7 years, definitely all while we were dating. But then when I went back to school, well, I'm not available to cook, right? I'm leaving every morning at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm not getting home till 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
So, she learned how to cook. And so, you just sort of back and forth. But no, I just always feel like you have to get to know somebody and get to know what their goals are and not necessarily judge their goals, right? Just sort of figure out like, okay, well, what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? And if you're good at it, you can talk through it with them and they will further clarify what it is that they really want, right? Or they will figure out, well, maybe what their original goal wasn't the way to go. But once they sort of figure it out and they got it together and this is what they're trying to do, well, you have to give them advice that supports them achieving their goal. You can't be like, well, that goal is stupid, so I'm going to create a goal for you and give you advice to follow my goal for you. Like, that doesn't work. And so that's kind of how I try and go about it. Like, and I you start like I guess I start someplace extreme. Like I always start on like the more extreme level of quality, and then I work my way back. Okay, so you don't need it to be perfect. Okay, so you work your way, and you finally get back to like, okay, so you just throw some shit over the fence, and hope it works out. All right, cool, we can do that. Like, so I'm just saying, like, you gotta know who you're dealing with, right? Like I'm gonna be the dude who set up the stage the way you perform when you're on stage. Like that's gonna be me. So you're like, yeah, but I'm back, bitches.
Yeah.
You're like, no, give me some time.
Give me some time, man.
When we were in the Keys, man, we went on this snorkeling thing, and we ended up going into the mangroves because the main ocean was too rough, and they were telling this whole story about like these fucking upside down jellyfish with no stingers. And so, sure enough, they found them, and they come up in the boat with the upside down jellyfish, no stingers, no nothing. They're like, "See, no stingers," and they go show to my kids. My kids are like, "I'm good." And immediately after they moved past the black section, everybody just kind of swarmed them and wanted to touch it and all that shit. My kids were like, nope, not happening. So that's I don't know if that's a built-in, man, but that is a running racial joke in my household. You ain't got to worry about that kind of shit. All that extra shit, like attacked by a fucking grizzly bear, that's usually not a black person. Bit by a rattlesnake. Like, no, I'm not fucking with the snakes. Like, I see a snake, I just kind of leave it alone. Like, what do you mean you try to pick it up? I don't understand that shit. Like, you understand what I'm talking about? It's just like
I'm with you. I'm risk averse. I'm highly risk averse.
Yeah, right. I'm like, no, I'm good. That like, oh my god, a stray puppy, man. Fuck that dog. Like, no. Like, that's a no for me. This is just a no. Like, yeah, I hope he's gonna be okay too, but he's gonna have to be okay on his own with no help directly from me. Would you say, is there some place where I could donate where they help these dogs? But because I'm not doing it. Like, it's not gonna be me, but I'll donate. So yeah, there's that. Like when you go. Like, me and Spencer mountain bike now.
Yeah.
It is really, really funny to go out with Spencer. Like, you hit these trails and some of these jumps, and Spencer will be like, nah, I'm good. You're like, are you sure you don't want to hit? And he's like, the man said, this is what he says to me, the man said he was good. And I go, okay, all right.
Where'd he get that?
Like, you gotta raise your voice, damn. That's what he says, though. When the man says that the man is good, the man is good. I just start laughing like, all right, the man got it. And it's funny, man, because that's one of the things I told Spencer. I said, listen, you don't want to do things when you're like truly, truly afraid or when you're fatigued. Those are the two times where you kind of want to avoid things because that's how you get hurt. I'm like, so a little bit of fear or like some apprehension, that's fine. Like, that's normal, right? But if you're really afraid, like, leave it alone. If you feel like you're really tired, leave it alone. That's when bad things happen. And we don't need any injuries.
Yeah.
So advice, I get it. Man. Like, he's the same way on the slopes. He'll be like, nope, I'm not going up there. Like, nope. And Hannah's even worse because she won't even say it. Just the look on her face is like, You know not to even ask her, man. Like, she would look at you like
that thing she took of you shaking out the
oh yeah,
sugar.
Yeah, dude. That was wild, man. I gotta send you some shit. That was wild.
That's a lot of sugar.
That was like what, 6 teaspoons probably?
That was like 3-4 of those
per shake.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's wild, man, because so she's really good with a camera, and it's kind of intuitive. So we were like hiking, and I took a picture of her on the hike, and I was joking with her, and I was like, "See, this is the way you like to take pictures." And so I take the picture of her, and it's just like real close, it's like her eyeball, right? Like, and she's like, "Give me the phone." and I give her the phone, and as soon as I give her the phone, she basically shows me, nah, this is how I take those pictures. And she takes a picture of me, and if you look at it, it is basically like perfectly cropped in camera.
Yeah.
And so like mine was like a joke, like, almost like a ha ha ha, this is how you
Yeah.
like to take pictures, snap.
Yeah.
She was like, can you see them? I just sent them to you, like the difference in composition.
Yeah.
And it's
Got
like,
a
so
good
it's
eye.
still close, but
Yeah.
he just did it like, and just
These
hand me a
cameras-
camera back like that. Don't go.
These cameras are amazing. My daughter's really good too. It's like
And that's just the iPhone, but yeah.
It's really good. They're used to looking at decent photography because of Instagram and all that shit. Like the level has been raised.
They really are, man. But
Yeah.
it's crazy when you just go like, how'd you even know to frame that like that? And why? I would never cut somebody's head off and then still sort of frame it like. And if I look at the rule of thirds, my eyeball's almost on the third. Like how you do that? Like, okay. So at any rate, yeah, that video was really funny because I the entire time she was laughing, I had no idea.
And you were just like scoping that place out too, like looking around, like staring people down.
Well, you're not gonna look at my kids funny, man. Like you're not gonna look at my fucking kid. Like, so here's the thing. And this is like the way that racism is so insidious, and it just like sort of just picks at you, because you could be dealing with somebody who's just a horrible person. You could be dealing with somebody who's just a regular person who's having a horrible day. Or you could actually be dealing with a fucking racist, and you never know what the issue is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, they might just be like, dang, this dude is really tall. And I might be thinking, you racist motherfucker. Like, you don't know why they're looking at you. You know what I mean? So a lot of times it's like their mistakes can be made. But I think that over a period of time, people sort of identify themselves with certain behaviors, and you start to see certain patterns that have a high probability of racism associated with them. You know what I'm saying? So you're not like blindly judging. And so what ends up happening, again, it's still conjecture. Like, I can't prove it, right? Like, I don't know these fucking people, but you can tell by the way people look at you, or like when I grew up, like when you make eye contact with somebody, you acknowledge them, even if it's like just a little chin, a little head nod or whatever. Especially if you on vacation, we all here, we on vacation, we in a restaurant eating breakfast. You meet eyes, you kind of, you give you a little nod. It's like, good morning, like where y'all from? But when they look at you and you go to do your little nod and they quickly look away, you're like, man, fuck you. Like, because I know what that is. Like, I've experienced enough of that, especially in the South. You know what that is. Like, when you make eye contact with me, but it's accidental, because in fact you were just staring. You know what I mean? And then I catch you staring, and then you look away, or you look down, and you look down and kind of like, it's almost like a shameful look.
Yeah.
Like, and they're almost mad that you caught them. It's a really interesting dynamic, but all I can say is, my children, both of them, and I know everybody says this, but my kids are pretty bright, pretty intuitive. They pick up vibes. You know what I mean? Like that's how I am, and so they'll they'll be the first ones to ask me, like, why is that man acting like that? Like, you know what I mean? And so I protect all of that. Like, my kids aren't even going to notice a vibe coming off of somebody, because I know they're really well behaved. I know that they are cultured. I know that they spend a lot of time sort of like in public spaces, right? So they behave in a way that is appropriate for public spaces. And so given that as the case, if you're staring at my kids, and they're attractive kids. So if you're staring at my kids with like a scowl on your face, something's wrong with you, because my kids didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, they're the kind of kids where, like, when I go to like the high-end buffet at the whatever the hoity-toity, hotel is for breakfast, after I seat them and get them their food and they order their waffles, whatever they want, I can be like, hey, I'm gonna run up and get my food. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all don't go anywhere, and I can just leave them.
Yeah.
They're not gonna fight. They're not gonna get up. They're not gonna be loud. They're not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
And when you come back, they're just eating their food, just attending to their shit.
Yeah.
And people are always like, oh my God, your kids are so well behaved. So it's one of those things where I know if you're staring at my kids, you coming from a horrible place.
Yeah.
And so, because my kids don't do anything that requires them to be stared at. And when that changes, I will be accountable and objective enough to realize that it changed, but it hasn't changed because they still don't do shit. So what I do is basically protect their innocence. Like, you are not going to make my kids uncomfortable with your looks or your body language or any of that shit.
Yeah.
And we finally gotten to the point where I speak very openly with Spencer because at 9, he's got 2 years on Hannah. He's a bit more inquisitive and he's more extroverted. So Hannah's more of an introvert. So if you don't want to talk to her, that's wonderful because she don't give a shit about you. You know what I mean? Whereas Spencer likes to interact with people. And so we were in, I guess, their version of Bass Pro in Isla Morada. And so it's a different brand, but it's Bass Pro. Basically, it's Bass Pro Shops. And I said to Spencer, I said, have you noticed that no one said hello, no one's asked to help us, and no one is making eye contact with you? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, that's what racism feels like. I said, so if we stand back and we look, you will see all these white people randomly interacting with each other, and none of them know each other. And he was like, huh. And I was like, yeah. But you notice none of them are interacting with us, right? Like, not a single person is saying hello to us. And he was like, he said, yeah. He said, but I really don't care because if they just leave us alone, we can get what we need to get and go fishing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that too. But I just want you to be aware. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. And, I couldn't say to him, fuck him. But that, that's what I wanted to say. But I kind of looked at him and said, yeah, so, you don't concern yourself with, other people's crazy thoughts or whatever. But be aware. I was like, because these are the same people who will accuse you of stealing something or whatever. I said, I don't know if you noticed, but when I'm walking around the store, I make sure I keep everything I picked up sort of like slightly away from my body, or, I make sure I sort of speak to it like, yeah, I think I should go in here and try this shirt on. Like, I'm always sort of making a to-do about things because I don't want to get into that situation where I'm like, if you touch me, I'm going to beat the cowboy shit out of you. And then I'm going to sue. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because if somebody walks up to you and they're like, yo, lift your shirt up. I'm like, I'm not lifting up nothing. Like, I don't have to. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, that whole, like, open your bag. Or what? Like I'm going to push it all the way to the limit so that I know that my lawsuit will stick. Like, I'm not going to be cooperative. Now, if it's the police, that's entirely different. Yeah. But like a security guard at a store, come on, man. Like, you have no authority over me whatsoever.
God, it's so crazy the shit you have to think about.
All the time. And then you really do have to think because, like, again, like, I can't attack the security guard. I can only defend myself. Like, if I attack a security guard, that's assault. They're doing their job, right?
But just the whole...
It's normal, though. That's the thing. And it's horrible because it's almost like trauma has been normalized for an entire segment of society. So even when I post about that stuff, it's almost like it's catharsis for the other people who also experience it. It is not like a call for help or like oh my God, this is so horrible. Like that shit is literally like breathing air. And so whenever I find myself in what I would define as a white space, these are spaces where white people are not used to interacting with Black people, or spaces where white people aren't used to interacting with affluent Black people. This is depending on where that space is what I expect. So if I'm in Colorado, that space tends to be a bit more liberal, right? But if I'm in the Florida Keys, or if I'm in like Panama City or Destin or like Orange, Alabama, something like that, then obviously that's more redneckish. So it's going to be, it's going to be different. And people literally look at you like, what the fuck are you doing here next to me? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not supposed to be in that space. Like they don't expect you to be there. They don't expect to see you. They don't expect to interact with you. And so it really depends. Like we go to Amelia Island sometimes for vacation because we sort of tag on to Tiffany when she's like going to conferences. But because Amelia Island, Florida is on the Atlantic coast and it's like right on sort of like the Georgia border, but it's on the Atlantic coast, you get more people from the East Coast going south to vacation there. Versus if you're in, say, like Destin, which is in the Panhandle, so you get a lot of people coming down from like Alabama or Southern Georgia. This is a very different crowd, right? Than like Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, whatever, going to Florida. So it's a very different crowd. And even something as simple as you wouldn't even think about this, like, so you make some good money and you say to yourself, we should buy a vacation home. And then you say, well, fuck, where? Mm-hmm. I live in Atlanta, right? Do I want a house in the mountains of Atlanta? Nah, that don't sound safe. Right. Like the mountains of Georgia. Like the mountains of North Georgia sounds like where some fucked up shit's gonna happen to me and my family, or I'm gonna have to shoot somebody. Like that does not sound safe, right? Mm-hmm. So you go, well, what about the Panhandle? The water's beautiful. It's the Emerald Coast. It's green. Yeah, those are the people who like stare at you funny and look at you like, why the fuck are you here? Because, well, why the fuck are you here? Like you in Southern Alabama, and so you literally start to think like, well, where could I even have a vacation home? Because I don't want to buy a property someplace where I feel uncomfortable. Yeah. And so, but most of the places in Georgia where you're going to buy, say like a lake house or something, those are all rural. And so that's not really where you necessarily want to be. I'm not saying that it's dangerous, because that would be like, I guess, an overstep, but it's not welcoming per se. Yeah. Like, I don't know that trips to town would be, all that great. And it's funny because you'll even have like black people who live in the town, but the black townies like, quote, know their place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they sort of fit into society. It is the sort of out of town Negroes driving through in their Mercedes Benzes and their BMWs. These uppity black folks coming from Atlanta that sort of get the sneers and jeers. And I mean, there's some irony because it's the same like if you live in Philly and you go to the Poconos, really. It's not that different. But yeah, when you talk about it, it always sort of feels like, man, that's horrible. But for me, it's like, no, that's just normal.
Well, the way you're going about it is really, a realistic approach, I guess, is the best way to put it, because you're on the lookout for the patterns that you recognize that you'd rather not see. You just keep seeing them, and when you don't see them, you operate normal. Yeah.
But I think that it is normal. So the other thing is, you're a husband, you're a father. If Tiffany goes to the supermarket at 12 noon and she gets robbed, the very first question is, where was Ken? 12 noon, broad daylight. I go to the supermarket, I get robbed. It's just a tragedy. There's no responsibility for Tiffany, right? None. And so that's something that's sort of pervasive throughout our lives. So everywhere that we are, I am always looking. I am always sort of like aware. Like if we go to a festival, like we're at the park, it doesn't matter where we are. Like I am always sort of aware, like baseline, where's my wife? Where are my children? Now, when I interact with them, I'm interacting with Tiffany and Spencer and Hannah. But, when I'm security, it's like, where's my wife and where are my children? You know what I mean? And that's a duality that I live every day, all the time. And so when I'm on vacation, it's not really much different for me. And my experience on vacation is always different than theirs, because that's sort of like part of the job, right? Like it doesn't go away. And so the fact that you sprinkle some black on top, you know what I mean? Like that certainly changes it a bit. You know what I mean? But I don't know that it's, you know, all that different. Like, I think that all fathers and all husbands sort of, you know, guys who got their shit together, like you watch over your family, you make sure your family's safe, you make sure your family's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different experience. Like, going to the beach is not just being at the beach. Like, I'm watching the kids differently than Tiffany's watching the kids, because I'm the one that got to go into the drink if something happens. You know what I mean? So,
oh, that's such a good example. That's such a good example, because, like, you know, my kids are incredible swimmers. Swimmers. They both surf. They both, you know, they're great in the water. I'm not worried about them per se, but the ocean's crazy, so I'm not like taking a nap.
No,
like, I got my eye on them at all times,
the whole time.
Behind them looking for fins. Like,
right, the
whole time. And like, my son like had a pretty close run in with a seal, or a sea lion. Like, we saw it, he didn't see it until the last minute. We saw it in the wave, you know, and like one of those things. Like, and we're like, is that real close to him? And it was real close to him. And, you know, I just kind of was like,
see, that's another one right there. See,
I was just like
frozen.
frozen.
By seal while surfing, probably not black.
Yeah, but I was like,
it's crazy, man.
I froze a little bit. My daughter kind of went out to get him because he was out a little too far also. Like, but I knew he could swim.
Right.
Once I knew it was a sea lion, I wasn't worried.
You weren't as worried. Still worried.
But I knew he would panic. Yeah. But I was like, he got to come in. But I also didn't want to scare the shit out of him. If I was like, what the, like, freaking out, he would freak out and then panic. So, but he, like, my daughter panicked a little and like was like like, she definitely looked scared. But he still talks about it. It was like 5 years ago, and he's just like, remember that scene? I'm like, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, of course I remember. That shit was real.
Yeah, but like, it is a different look, you know. So I might look like I'm sleeping, I might look like I'm just chilling, but I'm literally scanning, like, where's their heads? Where are they? You know,
stories like I remember when like their cousins would be like in like one of those like black classic like HBCU football games.
Yeah,
and it's a big deal. It's like all the vendors and the food, and they're selling T-shirts and all kinds of cultural kind of stuff, and everybody's tailgating in the parking lot. Like it's amazing. Like every single one of those games looks like some kind of music festival or something.
Yeah.
And like the cousins will be like, hey, can we take the kids to like get an ice cream cone or something? And I'll be like, sure. And then they take the kids and they would leave. And it's almost like a countdown. Like I'd be watching them.
Yeah. And
then I just bird dog them. They had no idea I was there.
Yeah.
And the whole time I would follow them all the way through, and I would just hang back and just watch and make sure they're okay. And then, you know, when we got back, or at some point I'd be like, hey y'all, they'd be like, hey, Uncle Ken, like, and it's like, oh yeah, I was here. Yeah. And you did a really good job, and I'm proud of you. Like, you clearly are ready to take care of the kids. But you know, but I let them sort of experience doing it first, and then on the back end, I would let them know, like, yeah, I watched you, but you did great.
Did you figure out? This is something you'll love. This. I literally within the last couple years figured out, like, when you're a kid, you think your parents are like magic for calling you out on your bullshit and the things that you try to fuck with. You're like, how did they possibly know? It's like, because you're terrible at at hiding. Like, and you figure out, like, oh, it was easy. We are stupid. You know, like,
Phil says, I think you all can read my mind. And I'm like, no, I can't read your mind. But I was once a boy. And so, here's a crazy thing, the way my memory works and the way that sort of emotional, I guess, intelligence works. If I put myself in his circumstance and I pretend to be him, given what I know about him, I can tell you what happened and I can tell you what he did.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Like, and the number of parents who can do that, it's kind of insane when you're like, I can literally just like float myself into his body and be like, okay. So, you know, like in those TV shows, you're like looking around the scene.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he saw that. He did that. Like, it's literally like it just all comes to me. And then as I'm talking to him, I'll be like, yeah, so you did this and you did this and you did this. And he's like, how do you know that?
Yep.
And it's like, because I was once a kid and I know you pretty well. And there's going to come a time where I'm not going to be able to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I've actually said that to him too. Like I talked to him about being stronger than me, being faster than me. I'm like, the day's going, it's not today, but the day's going to come.
Yeah.
And so I think he's actually faster than me at this point. Now, if I did some work, I could regain the title, but I think he's faster. Like if we just like raced,
yeah,
and he wasn't being nice, like maybe 20, 30 yards. I mean, you make it longer, then he's gonna lose. But
yeah,
but like a sprint under 40 yards, he's gonna win.
Yeah, it's weird to see him do stuff and like Sometimes I don't want to do things around him because I don't want him to be like to give up. Like we went to like hit golf balls, and I'm not great at golf. I'm okay,
right?
But I can hit a ball far. Like
you're a golden guy to him.
Like
right? Like, how do you do that?
So you know how hard golf is. Like I don't want to see him. I don't want him to see me hit every ball where I'm trying to hit it. Basically at a driving range, like. Because you are terrible at golf. You're hitting it off the walls. You're topping it like hitting like flat burners. Like just like yeah. Like it takes a while to get decent at that at all.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm not doing it to be like watch me, motherfucker. Like I'm just like it's hard, man. Like I swung this stupid club for hours, days to figure out how to do this at all.
Oh.
So it's a weird balance. It's a weird balance. Like if you were like a badass mountain biker and you're just, it's a personal mindset. Like there are dads and parents who like are like show off to be like in a way, or
I think I do that. Like I mean, I don't do it like in a malicious way, but I just go out and do what I do.
Yeah.
I don't try and do it better. I don't try and do it worse. I just do what I do.
Yeah.
And then if he asks questions, I explain. Like it took me 3 years to learn how to do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just tell him. So like when he first started playing football, he always used to want to like make diving catches. And I'm like, how about you learn how to catch first?
Yeah.
And it was like every day we would go out and he would be like, let's play catch. I'm talking about like in the cold, in the rain. And this is knowing that Tiffany is never going to let him play organized football.
Yeah.
And so you imagine you're on the lawn and he would like sort of set it up like this is the corner and he would run and he would like want to make a dive and catch. And I promise you, I had to like learn to be a better quarterback because I was never all that great at quarterback.
Yeah. Because
I had to put the ball where he wanted me to put it so that he could make his dive and catch.
Yeah.
And so when he started playing flag football, it was like, how come he can catch so good? How come he can throw so well? It's like, because we go on the lawn every day and we practice. And that became almost like an analog for everything.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you want to get better, you got to do the same thing you did with football. You got to have the same interest. You got to have the same zeal. Like you have to want it. Yeah. And so I will definitely, if I'm playing like a game of, say like if I was playing like checkers or chess or something.
Oh, I kick their asses.
Well, no, I'm saying I might actually let them win.
Oh, I don't. I don't. I'm like, you got to learn.
Strategy thing. Like, I'll be like, hey, you sure you want to make that move?
Yeah,
I'll teach them while, now, they still might lose, but I'll teach them while we're playing. Yeah. But if it's something that's like a skill you build up over time, like, how come you could cast that long? Like when we fishing?
Yeah.
I've been fishing for a decade. That's why.
Yeah.
So I'll tell him what he needs to do. Then I'll leave him alone. And I am very clear with him, like, listen, Spencer, I'm the type of person who is easily frustrated if I'm telling you something. I think you understand me, but you're not doing what I'm telling you to do. Yeah. And so I get very easily frustrated. Clearly, you think you're doing what I'm telling you to do, and you're not.
Yeah. But
you can't tell. And you're not doing it to be malicious or to, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you're not the problem. I'm the problem because I don't have the patience because I'm looking at you and I'm like, that's not what I told you to do.
Yeah.
And I'll change my voice, but this is how I talk to him in real time.
Yeah.
So I try and explain to him, like, there are some times when I'm annoyed with you, and I'm annoyed with you because it's my shortcoming.
Yeah.
And there are other times when I'm annoyed with you, and it's entirely your fault. Like, so sometimes you deserve my attitude, but the vast majority of the time, I might be overreacting. I might be having a horrible, whatever. And I'm so clear to tell him exactly why.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't want him to have like the like complexes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not good enough for my dad. Yeah. So like, I'll tell him point blank, like, listen, dude, I had a shitty dad. Like, I don't curse when I talk, talk to him, but I'll be like, my dad was kind of crappy. So I learned this as I went. And so I make mistakes. And so, like, I might, like, yell at him and the next day be like, yeah, so remember when I was yelling at you yesterday? That was an overreaction. Like, what you did was wrong. You absolutely messed up, but it didn't deserve the volume and the intensity and the amount of time. Like, I probably could have just told you what I needed to say in a calm voice and walked away and got the same result.
Yeah.
And he's always like so graceful, man. Like, he's like, it's all right, Daddy. And I'm like, no, it's not all right, but I appreciate you forgiving me. And so that's the kind of relationship we have. It's very sort of I don't know what words to use, but it's very literal, like, very sort of like spoken out loud.
Yeah.
The words match the actions match the words. Like, it's all, just a comprehensive, and it's really important to me. And I can see how it impacts him, and I can see how it impacts Hannah as well. Like, I'm always like, you have to be accountable, you have to be objective, and you have to be able to understand context to the extent that you can.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's what I teach them. Like, so when they come to me and they say something, I'll be like, is that an accountable way to express that? Like, I literally ask them that, and they'll think about it, and then they'll try again.
It is incredible. It's an incredible responsibility that obviously you and I both are taking very seriously, and I think that's awesome. I mean, what else are you going to do? What else are we going to do, really?
When you creating, I mean, you can complain about society, but realize that you're creating the next version of society right in your house. So, I try and give them what I can. Like, it's like when I see guys joking about like cleaning their gun when their daughter goes on her like prom or something. I'm like, that's just stupid to me. Like, you teach them everything you can. You impart. You give them, you put whatever you can, whatever you have to offer. Yeah. And then they have to go out and make their own choices. And you can't impact. Like, your impact on those choices, once you get there, is minimal. It's kind of like trying to cram for the SAT the night before. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's a cumulative test. And so, I figure, like, it's like I kind of got threatened by one of Tiffany's like godfathers or something before we got married, and he kept saying like, "Yeah, I got big boys," and I was kind of like, "Okay," like I'm trying to understand what, like, you just don't get it. Like, okay, so you have tall sons, that's great, because he wasn't that tall, and he was like, "Yeah, they big boys," and I was kind of like, "All right," like, okay. Yeah. And so finally, when he realized I wasn't getting it, he was kind of like, Tiffany is very special to us. And I said, oh, this is probably like the 30th time I'd have been threatened, right? And this is actually at my rehearsal dinner. And I looked at him and I said, listen, do you think that Tiffany's parents raised her right? And all of a sudden, this motherfucker like turned British. He was like, it's just, like, he just, and I was like, I'm laughing. Well, of course, like, just, I'm like a British Southern black man from Alabama. Okay, got it. And he just, and I said to him, I said, well, if you know they raised her right, what makes you think she would bring home a chump?
Yeah.
And he kind of said, I like you. I like you. You ever find yourself in such and such Alabama? You come by and give me a holler. I like you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, look and say, I like this young man. Like, looking at somebody else. And it's like, but that's how I think about it. Like, if you raise them right, then you just let them make their decisions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and they're going to make some mistakes, but leave them be. Like, I've never been the micromanaging type. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want my involvement, I will involve myself. If you change your mind, I'll stop. Like, just, I'm probably not the guy to ever say, like, don't ever call me again. Because I'm going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you want. Like, this, I respect people's space. So, yeah, man, I look at the kids and I'm like, just, you only have them for a very short time to try and teach them what you can. And hopefully, you maintain a kind of relationship where, you can come and give them like booster shots, so to speak, where they can come back and ask you very specific questions. Because, now everything is so general, but when they get older, you hope that they feel comfortable coming back and asking you about the more specific stuff because...
Yeah. You built a relationship.
Yeah, because so much of what most people teach their kids is right versus wrong. And so that's not really what I focus on necessarily because right and wrong is almost built in. Like, when you take something that doesn't belong to you, that you did something wrong. Like, that's not nobody has to like tell you that, right?
Yeah.
That's that was wrong. It, depending on your circumstances, you might justify it in your head, like if you're hungry or if you're poor, whatever. But my point is, like, when you become an adult, it's not the right and wrong that becomes problematic. It's the gray area.
Yeah.
And the gray area is the part that you are rarely taught by your parents how to navigate.
Yeah. If they knew anyway.
Exactly. So I give you an example. Like, what I learned was white people have done some horrible things to black people, but that doesn't mean that all white people are bad people, and you have to judge people individually based on how they present themselves. That is the sum total of what I learned about racism from my parents. Now, when you square that with like looking at a picture of a man swinging from a tree because he said good morning to a white woman and looked her in the eye, you square that with like, well, some of them are bad and some of them are good. It's like, wait, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, those two things don't go together.
Yeah.
And so, it's almost like I went out into the world with these rose-colored glasses, unaware of the dangers, unaware of the vitriol. Like, I didn't even know what was out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a level of just hatred that's just simmering, like right beneath the surface. And it's like, and if you're not paying attention to it, you won't even notice it. But if you're paying attention to it, you see it's a real issue. Like, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And so, I try and teach my kids a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents never told me anything about the police or police brutality. I remember my dad had a friend who apparently was like a big dude. And I don't remember his name. I don't remember what he looked like, nothing. I just remember that he was killed by the police. And I remember my father just sort of talking about it like his and he had one of them old school names like Smitty or something. Like, you know what I mean? It was like he was in a traffic stop with a female cop. It went bad and they killed him. I don't know how they killed him. I don't know if they shot him, choked him. I have no idea. But I remember that, and I remember my dad one time telling me that be careful when you get pulled over by a cop if you were a pretty woman, because sometimes they'll try and show off for the pretty woman and like belittle you. And you got to be careful that you don't react to it because you could end up in real trouble.
Just to fuck with you, like to provoke you?
Yeah, just like to sort of put you down in front of the woman and show the woman that they really are the person that's powerful.
I wonder if that's a racial thing. I wonder if they do that with that's insane, man. God
Well,
damn.
I wouldn't even put that on race necessarily. That's just I think a power
Is that just a power move kind of
thing.
thing?
Yeah, like, if you really with a really pretty girl and you acting too cocky, then the cop might decide he gonna humble you in front of the pretty. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
Weird.
he told me that when I was like, I probably was like 9 or 10, but that was a sum total of my experience, like, that I learned from my dad about how to deal with the police. Like, dude, like, when I talk to my boy, I'm like, so for you, if you listen to me talk, like, sort of colloquially or whatever with my friends, whatever, and I'm talking about like the power structure of the police and any of that kind of stuff, you get like one very specific sort of picture of who I am. If you actually saw me at a traffic stop, you would be shocked, because in my mind, it is my job to navigate institutions successfully. It's not my job to mouth off. It's not my job to get smart. It's not my job to win on a street corner, right? That's not my job. My job is to know how to navigate institutions successfully, whatever that means in my lifetime. Right. And so when I get pulled over by a police officer, it's changed a little bit because I have kids now. But when I was just single, it was just me. I don't give a fuck if it was 20 degrees outside. All the windows down, all the interior lights on, the glove box would be open, the keys would be sitting on the dashboard, and I would have both my hands on top of the steering wheel. And that was my standard. And I literally was like, I thought I was saying something. I remember I was talking to a dude, he was like, I take my keys and I put them on the roof of the car. I was like, oh shit, that's a whole nother level. And I promise you, when police walk up to that car, and all the windows are down, the dome light, the interior lights are all on, the glove box is already open, you got both your hands on the car is turned off, and the keys are sitting in plain sight. This is back, when you had to crank the key or whatever.
Yeah.
It changes the dynamics of the entire stop. Even if the cop is a complete jackass, it still changes the dynamic of the stop.
Yeah.
It just does. And I've had my share of run-ins with jackass type cops. I've had my share of run-ins with wonderful cops too. So it's not an indictment of all police officers.
Yeah.
But the point is that I am extremely respectful. Like, it's always a sir or an officer attached to the sentence that I'm saying. If they say something out the way, my response is usually officer, like posed as a question. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Like, if they get smart, if they talk shit, I don't talk shit back.
Yeah.
They say something crazy, officer, I'm sorry, is that a command? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I am like the most humble, soft-spoken, straightforward dude you ever fucking heard. Because, long story short, I want to get home, and any violation that's problematic, I'll sue you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you win that in court. You don't win that in the street. Like, you're never going to win that in the street.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a hashtag. And so that's also how I raised Spencer. That's how I raised Hannah. Like, that's the talk. Now, if they don't choose to be quite as extreme as I am, that's fine. Yeah. But you have to make the officer feel as comfortable as you possibly can. And if you got to do a little shucking and jiving in order for that to happen, then that's what the fuck you do. Like, what you want to do is get home to your family.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who are like, man, fuck all that. And it's like, no. So you know how to write a paper in college, right? Like, you write that paper and you put in that paper what you know that professor wants to hear. Now if you the kind of person who, I don't know, you want to go off the beaten path or whatever, then fine. But the average person is going to put in that paper what they think that professor wants to hear. They're going to back it up with all the appropriate facts and citations. They're going to submit it and get their A. And that's what I do. I ain't trying to buck the system. I ain't trying to change nothing. Now once it becomes obvious that, like, you sort of like in a situation where that's not going to work, then you got to do what you got to do, right? But I just think that I start off with the notion that even if this officer is the most horrible officer on the force, it's not going to be because I wasn't compliant.
Right. Yeah.
And that is that that black tax, that extra that you pay. It's also because I'm 6'6", 265 pounds. And so if I was like 5'8", maybe I could get away with a little lip, but you ain't getting away with no lip when you 6'6".
Yeah.
Like if you intimidate an officer, just the fact that you intimidated them is gonna cause you to have a horrible time, even if you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I stay in my lane, man. And you would never imagine that talking to me because like, man, fuck this, fuck that. Like, when you like, nah, I'm like, no, this person has a gun that they like licensed to use, and they generally don't get convicted when they use it. Like, no, I'm not mouthing off at them. Like, nah.
Yeah.
But that, but that's sort of like on a baseline where I say, well, if you do these things, you are setting yourself up for the best possible outcome that you can achieve. Doesn't mean you're gonna have a good outcome, but the best outcome that you can get is going to be gotten that way.
Yeah.
And my dad never had that conversation with me. That was never like an explicit thing that he told me. And so, when I talk to Spencer, that's how I talk to Spencer. Or like cursing. I was like, you don't curse in front of tattletales or adults. I didn't tell him not to curse because I curse all the time. How am I tell him not to curse?
Yeah.
So I gave him a tool that I use. Like, if I meet the CEO of my company for the first time, I'm going to be like, yo, what the fuck is up? No, I'm not going to do that because he's on the exclusions list, right? Like if I'm in church, I'm not going to curse because, that's on the exclusions list. So I've taught him as a concept, there's an exclusions list. These are the people who you don't share profanity with.
Yeah.
He's going to take that with him for the rest of his life.
Yeah. And
it was something that was going to organically happen anyway. So why not start it off early?
Yeah.
And so I explained to him, I said, listen, man, when you curse and adults find out you curse, they feel like you're disrespectful. They feel like you don't have manners. They treat you differently. And I was like, so you are setting yourself up to be treated differently. You're setting yourself up to be treated like a bad kid, like a kid who's misbehaved, like a kid whose parents don't raise them appropriately. Yeah. I was like, you also are sending a signal to everybody that you have crappy parents, that we're really not good parents.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you're embarrassing your mother. And he was just I told him that point blank. I was like, listen, if a teacher tells me that you curse in class, I really don't care. It's not going to embarrass me. But your mom's going to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And so explaining all of that to him, like once you get tagged as a bad kid, they're watching you. So you're going to get in trouble even more because they're watching you all the time.
Yeah. And
you don't want them to be watching you all the time because you're always going to make a mistake. But when you're the bad kid, you also going to get caught every time you make a mistake. And so he's looking at me like, he's literally saying like that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to, do the Merovingian from the Matrix. I'm trying to give him the why.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't just show up without the why. This is the why. This is the why it's important. And I think that when I was growing up, they didn't really give me the why. And I was smart enough to understand the why, but it was like, just do what I told you to do.
Yeah. I think kids like to be spoken to at whatever level makes sense to them.
Yes.
Like where you can't go full bore, but you can be like, do you understand so far? Okay. And then like, and I even asked point blank one time, I asked my daughter, like, do you want me to explain stuff? Do you want me to preemptively keep you from making this mistake or that mistake? Like, you need to let me know, like, like you can learn these lessons on your own, or I can shortcut some of them for you. Like,
right.
She's like, I kind of want to figure it out. I'm like, all right, if it's a big one, I'll step in. Otherwise, I had to figure some shit out.
Yesterday, like I can tell you what the better decision is to make, but I can't make the decision for you.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you what I think is the better decision, but ultimately, that's on you, man. And I remember, like, I would be given a choice, but then if I didn't make the choice that they thought was the right choice to make, they just snatch it right back and make it for me anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not that kind of dude. Like, I'm like, if I give you the, and it can be something silly, like, you can go outside and play now, do your work later, you can do your work now, and then go outside, act like whatever it is. I'll tell you, like, what the likelihood is, this is probably the better choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your choice to make.
Yeah.
And you know, invariably, he'll do whatever he's going to do. Excuse me. And when he comes back later, he'll be like, you were right. I really should have done it the other way.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, Spencer, but you got to learn on your own. And I'm like, and the thing is, you're going to do this again and again and again and again because I'm your dad. And just because I said so, you're going to do the opposite thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, and here's the crazy part. Sometimes you're going to be right.
Yeah.
I was like, because sometimes you're going to have courage and you're going to have innovation and you're going to have youth on your side. And you're going to make choices that are more risky, but you're going to get more reward. And they're going to be choices that I probably wouldn't have made.
Yeah.
And part of the reason you're going to be able to do that is because you have me supporting you. It's like, so, you know, there are going to be times when, and it's funny because it happens all the time where he's just right. And I'm like, there are going to be times when you're right. And whenever you're right, I'm going to acknowledge it. So I find myself apologizing all the time. It's like, oh man, you were right about that. Yeah, I'd have totally messed that up. I'm glad you decided to do it your way.
Yeah.
And it's
lucky,
really
man.
cool when you can look at that bit of pride that comes with that. And, you know, Hannah is a lot more organic. Like she just sort of assimilates all of the knowledge quietly. She's just always watching, just always there. Like Spencer's more, you know, asking questions, having conversation. Hannah's like you look over like, wait, is she there the whole time? She's just soaking it all in. And so it's a real interesting dynamic, but I love it, man.
Yeah, it's fun. I really dig it.
So, I mean, I could just schedule another podcast because this one kind of seemed weird. Like it just sort of rambled and it almost felt like I just was talking about Buddy, who I called, like not necessarily shooting a podcast.
Well, that's the point. I think that's what I like to listen to, and you know, it's good catching up. It's a good excuse to catch up, and you always have good shit to say, man. I think my takeaway here is like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like you were saying, put it on YouTube or whatever. I'm like, I don't know, whatever, man. Like,
right.
It'll find people at the right time, you know. And it's like, I wish I had a resource like podcast to listen to when I was a kid. You know, there's a lot of people who don't hear these conversations. You know what I mean? In their own life, and I know the impact podcasts have had on my life professionally and living and figuring out and learning. And so it's like, well, I don't know. It'll be for the right reason. Somebody will hear it and be like, you know what? I never heard him like that. You know, whatever. Things you've experienced are important and you don't think they are sometimes, but it's happened enough where people are like in life, like that one conversation that you just really didn't give much thought to, they spent years thinking about.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot.
You know?
Like, I get a lot of that. That's one time I was walking with Tiffany at a Dune Day. We're just walking down the street, and this dude walks up to me like, "Hey, man!" And I immediately, again, like I'm with my girl, we're at a festival, and so I'm like, "Is somebody about to rob me? Like, is this dude distracting me to get my attention?" This is at a Dune Day, which is like a love fest, right?
Yeah.
Like to think that somebody's gonna rob you at a Dune Day is kind of ridiculous, but I still was like, who is this weird dude like talking to me? And he's like, you don't even remember me, man. And I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, did you used to work at such and such? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And he was like, well, I was one of the kids that came through there, and I used to work at like the social service agency, right? And I was kind of like an unlicensed social worker, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I would like teach life skills and give all the speeches and all that shit, like just all, you know, supervising the kids and talking to them. So just in front of a class half the time with just stream of consciousness, just talking to them.
Yeah.
And he's like, you changed my life, and you fundamentally changed the direction of my life. He's like, you will never understand how what you said at the front of that classroom changed my life. And I was just kind of like, I didn't change your life, you changed your life. Like, I'm glad that the words reached you when they needed to, but don't ever think that was me. That was you. You did that. Like, you did the work. You made it happen. And he's like, yeah, I get that, but like, I don't want you to take away from the fact that he's like, you changed my life. Like, and he was like, he reaches in his pocket, he pulls out a card, and he hands me the card, and he says, if you ever need anything, reach out.
Yeah.
So I take the card, and we go to walk away, and I look at the card. This MF is a city councilman for the city of Philadelphia.
Wow. And
so that is one of those powerful stories. I was making like $8 an hour, like 22 years old, working at a social service agency, and it was like a throwaway job for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I when I interacted with the kids, obviously I did it with integrity and with intention, right?
Yeah.
But you could have never told me that one of them kids sitting in that room was going to end up being a city councilman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it happens a lot where people will come back, Like I was talking to one of my boys, man, just talking to him about like relationships, and he had this girl he was messing with, and it got pretty complicated, and he sort of chose the girl over his family, and we ended up talking, and just through the wisdom, I guess, that was imparted in that conversation, he realized he made the wrong choice, and he ended up like reconnecting with his mom and being really tight. And I promise you, I think within 3 to 5 years of that, like his mom died of cancer.
Hmm.
And so you can imagine like standing in the hospital room, like, hey, how you doing? You ain't gonna be in here much longer. Like just, kind of cheering her up or whatever. And I legit was like, you'll be back home before you know it. And she looks at me with this, it's like a solemn moment, like, thank you for bringing my son back to me.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her like, oh, come on now. Like, because it's just like, I'm just talking, right? Just talking, like just sharing what you think. And yeah, she never came home from that hospital. You know what I'm saying? Like that was it. And so, yeah, like you're right. Like your words can have a profound impact on somebody else. And for you, it's just chit chat.
Yeah. So
there's that.
There's that. So as a parent too, it's just like, fuck, they're watching everything. They're taking everything in. You gotta get your shit together.
Yeah.
Always have your shit together.
It is, I think that it's such a blessing, man, to be able to look at your kids and share with them now your shortcomings. So I want my kids to see me as Ken as much as they see me as dad.
Yeah.
Because I think that transition is so difficult for people. They grow up in the paradigm they grew up in worked, and because it worked, they never questioned it.
Yeah.
And I will hope that my kids will question everything, including the paradigm that they grew up in. And I think that you sort of help to send them on that journey when they don't grow up thinking that their parents are like the institution of parenthood and they're infallible.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, I'm just a dude. I got hopes and dreams and fears and, anxieties and all that kind of stuff, just like everybody else. So,
yeah.
I'm not going to do the Dave Chappelle. The stuff I seen, like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to pay the bills this month, son. I'm not going to do that. But
it's crazy.
But, I just think that, giving them a little reality, man, this is helpful.
Yeah.
and it's just like a lot of shortcuts when you have to appropriate, you're not developing bad habits.
Oh, so, dude, I spent years learning bad habits and then breaking them.
Right.
And like, it's like, well, what a fucking waste of time that was, but.
And, I like to teach myself stuff. And so that stuff like skiing and golfing, you should probably just get lessons.
Just get lessons. That's the lesson. All right, brother, I got to go. It's always good chatting with you. Be good. Tell the whole family I said hey, and grab some more time whenever you feel like it on the calendar, and let's just do it because I don't know. It just feels right talking to you, and it's always good.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Be well.
You too.
Later.
So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. Yes, skin. I've tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair ain't never gonna go too well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know too well that I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything come what might for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that rings in the nights, repeats and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you ain't never gonna win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop just before I begin. Yes, I've got you under my skin. Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made